Welcome to Okaloosa Today, local news and information. Connecting the communities of Fort Walton Beach, Destin, and Okaloosa County.
Welcome to Okaloosa Today on Cox. This is your monthly look at the city of Destin, Fort Walton Beach, and Okaloosa County. I'm Doug Rayner with the City of Destin, and our first segment is all about the City of Destin. Joining me today is Steve Schmidt, David Campbell, two integral parts of the city's operations, and today we'll talk about some updating projects and things like that going on. Steve, you're the Interim Community Development Director. David Campbell is the Public Services Director as well as the City Engineer, so you both have your hands in just about everything that takes place in the city. Thanks for coming in today. I really appreciate you being here.
You're welcome.
We're kind of heating up with some summer activities. The 100 Days of Summer is starting very soon. We wanted to really give our public an overview and an update of what they'll see taking place around them. And we have several projects that are going on. One of them is a partnership with the Florida Department of Transportation. And David, I know your department works really closely with them on the pedestrian signals that are there. Kind of give us a little overview of what that is, where we're going with that.
Okay. Earlier this year, we met with DOT to basically go over the fact that we have pedestrians that need to get from one side of 98 to the other, and as we know, there's a tremendous amount of traffic. Based on a federal safety study, it was determined that 5 locations we would put mid-block signalized pedestrian crossings to assist the pedestrians to get across US 98. The locations are at AJ's. Mm-hmm. The second location is at our city parking lot. The third location is at Melvin Street, across from Beauchamp's restaurant. Mm-hmm. The fourth location is a popular location, is the Big Kahuna's water park. And the fifth location is across the street from the Chick-fil-A.
Right. And those are done because of the need. I think they did some studies to understand some foot traffic, and that project is in full swing right now. If you're outside in June, you're going to see these being put in.
You're going to see where they're working. Most of the construction is occurring at night, mm-hmm. To avoid the daytime traffic.
And what these are fully signalized lights that look like a standard traffic signal, red, yellow, and green, that will be pedestrian activated, timed with the rest of the lights along 98 in that strip to allow people better access and more access to cross the street.
That's exactly right, with the least disruption of vehicular traffic.
Good. And I know that, Steve, your department deals with our multimodal program of trying to get people out of their cars and moving along. Pedestrian traffic, foot traffic is one of those ways. Tell us a little bit about how important that is and to have safe crossing for these folks.
Well, obviously it's extremely critical. I mean, we've had some accidents, injuries, and even fatalities in that area, and getting pedestrians across 98 is a real challenge. And since we're proposing to add more parking on the north side of 98, then it even gets more critical. And we've got one parking lot over there now, and that Marler Street crossing is going to be a great boon to that parking lot.
Good. Yeah, the south side of 98 parking is limited, and we have more on the north side, so it just makes sense. And we're glad to be partnered with FDOT in this process. And good job with your staff moving things forward and getting that going. It's much needed. We have broken ground on a project over in Heritage Run and Vintage Circle in the city, and this is to deal with stormwater. And we have a lot of stormwater issues in Destin. It's very obvious, and this is the stormwater pump that your department is working through to have replaced and upgraded is really vital to our stormwater plan.
It certainly is. This particular location is a neighborhood that was developed back in the 80s, and it was developed in a very low-lying area, essentially a closed basin. So any stormwater any critical storm event would flood houses, and it's been doing so for the last 20 years. Not only are we concerned with the rainwater, the large storms, but it's also connected to the bay, so we're concerned with storm surge. And the subdivision's at a particular elevation where a 4 or 5 foot storm surge would also flood them. So we put in a storm gate some years ago, about 10 years ago. We just got a grant from the state of Florida for $500,000, which the city matched, to put in 2 55 horsepower stormwater pumps. And that's under construction right now. So what we're able to do is pump out the water that collects in that neighborhood, as well as keep the storm surge out from the bay during a hurricane, say.
And that's much needed. Again, we've had a couple of summers even and springs just full of rain, heavy rains that have shown the need for that. We'd like to thank Representative Matt Gaetz, Senator Don Gaetz for their help in getting the $500,000 grant, and of course the city matched, thanks to the City Council for seeing that as a serious need to move that forward. And again, your department manages that, so kudos to you guys for working through that process. In the same vein, and I know this is near and dear to Steve's heart because he lives in one of these neighborhoods, but we have, again, stormwater issues, and we've acquired a grant. We've talked about that on this show, but we're now to the point where we're going to be moving dirt here soon, we hope. The stormwater upgrades, I guess you can say, in several areas, one of them, the largest being Indian Bayou neighborhood. Tell us a little bit about where we are with that project.
Well, first of all, the stormwater grant came from National Fish and Wildlife Foundation through the Gulf Environmental Benefit Fund, and it was to improve water quality throughout the city of Destin before it enters the Choctawhatchee Bay. We have 5 locations, 6 locations that we're working on. The engineering drawings are 60% complete on 4 of them and 90% complete on 2.
Right.
So Indian Bayou subdivision will be our first project that we put out to bid, and we anticipate bidding that in June or July to get started.
And that is one of the 6 areas you mentioned, getting started early on that. $3.6 million grant that you mentioned that we received to actually make that happen. That's a really big deal. We couldn't do a lot of what we do if we didn't have these grants.
That's right. We're very fortunate to get that money.
Yeah, and let me clarify that none of those are going to actually be, none of that money is actually going to be spent near my house.
Right, but you have to drive through it. And give us a little idea of what people will see when they start construction, and so Indian Bayou first, what are they going to see? I know there's some swale repair and things of that nature.
Well, mainly the Indian Bayou was developed in the 70s and 80s, and the design for Indian Bayou was to have roadside swales for stormwater treatment. Well, over time, some of the swales have been filled in, and in a lot of cases, they never were constructed. So the folks that live out there in the subdivision can see the work in the right-of-way, which is essentially from the edge of pavement to the back of sidewalk. We'll be putting in a 6 to 8 inch shallow swale along the roadside. And what that'll do is that'll treat the stormwater. It'll allow the first flush, basically the first ½ inch of rain, to filter out the pollutants through the soil before it enters the storm system and out to the Choctawhatchee Bay.
Right, and as you mentioned, it's a water quality initiative, but I think on the other side of that, we take advantage of the fact that it will help with the water quantity issue in our neighborhoods.
There's a few areas within the city that have some quantity issues, flooding issues, and we'll be able to address those certain areas.
Oh, good. I want to move again into another project, and just Steve, this was kind of your baby is the acquisition of Regions Way. You oversaw the acquisition part of it. David, your department oversaw the construction or upgrades to that roadway, but I want to talk a little bit about that project and what that's doing right now. Or actually, you should probably give us an update on, or an idea of how you got that started.
Well, it was a privately owned roadway, and we kept getting calls from citizens because it was in such a bad state of disrepair that and it reflected poorly on the city, and so we had to explain to them that we couldn't go do any work on a private roadway. So and under the city's charter, we had to have 50% of the affected property owners actually petitioned the city council to do it. So we let them know that, and it took almost a year, but they finally got all the petitions. And once they got the petitions, we had to go through a statutory process basically to create a special assessment. And I guess I'm pleased that it happened. It was the first special assessment that's ever been approved in the city. Took a number of steps and quite a lot of work on not just my part, but some other folks as well. And so once we finally got it done, we were able to turn it over to David and let him build it.
Yeah, and the building part is what you were talking about for the special assessment. I mean, we assumed ownership of the road, but then there was north of $200,000 worth of repairs, I think, maybe that needed to take place that the city didn't foot the bill on. I think we may have contributed some, but let's talk a little bit about the construction that took place out there.
Well, the south third of the roadway, we simply milled and resurfaced. We milled the old asphalt and resurfaced with new asphalt.
North third.
Yes, exactly right, the north third. The south 2/3, we actually reconstructed the entire roadway. We pulled up the ribbon curbing, the concrete ribbon curbing on the side of the road. We removed the base material and the asphalt and replaced it with new base material, new asphalt.
Right.
And we should be, that's complete. The roadway's complete with the exception of road striping.
Right.
And we'll be road striping in the next 2 weeks.
We have photos to actually show of that project, the completion portion. I didn't show the old photos. We've done that on the show once or twice before when we talked about the need for that repair, and then of course what Steve did to work through the process of acquiring the road. Then, so what was the assessment exactly? How much did that road cost to repair? Do you remember?
And actually, David probably has a final number on what the actual costs were, but it was we assessed for about $202,000, a little over.
Good. Yeah, and I like to talk about that because it shows progress that the city is making, not using tax dollars, but letting people take care of their own areas, and that's just, it's really nice to see some of that happen. Let's talk about an issue that's kind of up front. It's season, we've got boats moving through the harbor pass and Noriega Point. We talk about it all the time, but there's two things going on. There's the stabilization project that you're in the process of. We'll mention that. But to start, there's a need to dredge the harbor channel at Noriega Point. Let's talk a little bit about that project.
Okay. Over the last, I would say, 6 to 8 months, we've seen considerable shoaling along the tip of Noriega Point, which is at the mouth of the harbor. And it's really restricting the boat traffic that can go through there. So what my department is doing, we applied to DEP for an exemption to dredge. They're processing that right now. And we have contacted 5 dredging companies. We should be getting bid numbers within the next day or two. And we'll be talking to those folks, not only to analyze their bids, but also to talk to them about their availability, because we'd like to get them up here as soon as possible.
And soon, you mean in the next month or so?
Or the next couple of weeks, if possible.
Good. And the reason why we're talking about this is because we want our public to know that we recognize the issue and our staff is working diligently to make this happen, our council as well. We understand that there's a problem out there. Of course, that leads into the permanent stabilization, which you are in the throes of trying to get out to bid, I think. So tell us a little bit about that project.
Well, actually, the state of Florida is in charge of this project, and it's based on the schedule that they have given to the city of Destin. The engineer has nearly completed the design. It should be 95% complete, and we anticipate putting it out to bid in June, with the possible construction date being after October, after the end of October, we can start to construct.
Right, and that is to harden Noriega Point, take it back out to its original or somewhat original location closer to the bridge, and to open that channel back up. Is that right?
It's very similar to the 1999 footprint of the Noriega Point, which it does extend quite close to the bridge. It goes within 75 feet of the federal channel.
Good.
So we will be hardening the tip in adding another embayment on the southwest side.
Is that right, Steve?
Yeah, make sure I get that right.
Actually, it's the northwest side.
Well, good. I know, and those embayments add for even additional recreational benefits, as I'm sure they have some structural integrity issue or purpose that I don't understand. But that whole area will take a new shape, really, from what it is today.
That's correct.
Good.
We should be adding approximately 4 to 5 acres of new white sand on Noriega Point.
Good, good. Well, let's move into the last thing we would like to talk about, and that is some information that's come out. Steve, you and City Manager have worked on acquiring the old concrete plant property that is adjacent to Joe's Bayou in Destin on Joe's Bayou, and that's important because the council this month will actually determine whether or not they want to move forward with the purchase of that. A lot of favorable discussions, so it's no secret that it could be a really good thing for this city. But Steve, I know you worked heavily on that. I even have a picture of you out on that property that Sean's going to show while we talk. But tell us a little bit about what's going on with that purchase.
Well, we're going through the process right now. We've acquired a couple appraisals and going to take it before City Council for approval to move on and do some testing and that sort of thing. But the bottom line is it's a great potential asset for the city. It sits right between Joe's Bayou boat ramps and Mattie Kelly Park, so it really can have an opportunity to embellish both. Mm-hmm. And it takes an industrial tract basically out of service and puts it back in a more natural state. We'll have an opportunity to do some shoreline restoration and add some trails and possibly even expand the boat ramp. So it's just a potentially great asset for the city and something I think the citizens wanted, because we keep hearing that we need more water access.
Right, that's right. And I think we talked a little bit about looking for some grant money that maybe can go to help create whatever we create out there, as long as this all moves through. What's the timeline? It's considering that the council accepts to move forward this month in June, looking at sometime in the fall, maybe?
Yeah, we'd be looking at closing in the fall, and possibly early fall, and may even, depending on the availability of some grant funding and that sort of thing, we may even be able to get started doing some work over the wintertime.
Good, good. Well, it's very evident that our staff is busy, our council's busy, and a lot of good things are happening. We're moving forward. Government moves slowly. It's no secret, but a lot of things are coming to fruition. This summer we'll see a lot of things happen, and both of you and your departments do a great job of that. So we want to thank you very much. I appreciate it. You make my job easy because I have a lot of good things to talk about. And thanks for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Is there
Glad to be here.
any parting words you have?
No, actually, I should let David talk. It's his show. I'm just here to be the chauffeur. So.
No, we are very busy. We're looking forward to accomplishing a lot for the residents here of the city and for our visitors. We're
Good.
Very positive.
That's great. I want to thank you for watching this portion of the show. If you need anything, give these guys a call at City Hall, 837-4242. Check out our website, cityofdestin.com, and stay tuned for Joe Soria with the City of Fort Walton Beach next.